Bring thousands of delegates from across the globe into a single auditorium to chart the future of a major religious body, and you get a logistical marathon. The Lutheran Church Missouri Synod conventions are massive, highly orchestrated gatherings with tight deadlines and a dizzying number of moving parts. Pulling off an event of this scale requires serious administrative muscle. But the real strain in the room has nothing to do with the schedule. The heavy, palpable tension leading up to these conventions is entirely political. Competing groups arrive with specific agendas, determined to steer the synod their way. It creates a glaring contradiction. The Church is explicitly called to operate differently from the rest of the world. Yet, to secure votes and pass resolutions, factions within the LCMS rely on the exact same cutthroat playbook you see in Washington, D.C. The leadership is fully aware of the damage this causes. During the 2010 convention, the Synod officially declared that it had devolved into a denomination of parties. Worldly tactics were actively dividing the membership and wounding the Church from the inside out. The political machinery runs on three main strategies. The first is fear. Factions exaggerate threats to mobilize voters, claiming that if their candidates lose, the Synod will immediately collapse into false doctrine and lose its theological bearings. The second strategy is deceit, which usually takes the form of obscuring motives. Ideological control is quietly written into the bylaws under the guise of maintaining good order or theological purity. Take the prior approval process. On paper, it ensures only theologically sound candidates reach seminaries and campuses. In execution, this flowchart shows it acting as a bottleneck, filtering out applicants who don't align with the ruling political ideology, regardless of their actual qualifications. The third strategy is slander. In the push to discredit opponents, factions openly violate the Eighth Commandment, trading in rumors and destroying reputations to clear the path for their own goals. When these three tactics take over, the purpose of the convention shifts. The core mission of the Church takes a back seat to the immediate demand of defeating the other side and claiming a political victory. This hyper-partisan environment is not a modern byproduct of internet echo chambers. It is a deeply ingrained, multi-generational habit within the LCMS. To see this, we only need to look at the 1989 convention. There, former President J.A.O. Preece delivered a blunt final address to the delegates. In the 1989 convention proceedings, Preece publicly condemned political power brokers like Affirm and Christian News. Highlighting the transcript, he called them out for issuing calculated election lists, noting their interference resulted in electing 90% of their recommended slate. Cronyism had replaced fair representation. Rather than course-correcting after Preece's warning, the culture of division escalated. By the 2000s, the infighting had become so severe that members were literally filing secular lawsuits against the Synod's own elected leadership. Decades of treating the Church like a political battleground have predictable results. Independent thinkers are sidelined, congregations are fractured into opposing camps, and the Synod's energy is drained by internal combat rather than focused on the gospel. There is an alternative, and it dates back to the very foundation of the Church. C.F.W. Walther, the founding leader of the LCMS, established a clear vision for how the Synod was supposed to govern itself. In his landmark Duties of Synod speech, Walther drew a sharp line. He insisted that the Church must be built by individuals who actively seek to serve one another. A synod driven by those chasing political influence and official positions would fail. Walther's standard leaves no room for factional warfare. Reclaiming that original vision requires delegates to recognize the political machinery around them and make a deliberate, individual choice to stop participating in it. Practically, stepping away from the politics starts with recognizing the manipulation. When someone claims that a specific vote is the only thing standing between the Church and total ruin, you reject the panic. The next step happens at the ballot box. It means refusing to cast votes based on the pre-packaged cheat sheets and political slates distributed in the hallways. The delegates don't need those cheat sheets. Every single candidate who makes it onto the official ballot has already passed through the nomination process and is fully qualified to hold the position. Voting on the convention floor is meant to be a spiritual duty, not a strategic maneuver. That requires setting aside party loyalty and allowing prayer and personal conscience to guide the final decision. A church operates on grace, not leverage. Protecting the spiritual integrity of the gathering and simply speaking well of your neighbor matters infinitely more than which political faction wins the resolution.